Welcome to the Dog Chug. God damn it.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Hey, fuck the New York Knicks.
Yeah, fuck
And
you.
the Yankees, the whole fucking state, the islands, all of them.
I hope
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers sucks.
Right.
Yeah, that'll
Goddamn.
show him.
Rat-infested, closet living.
Well,
Okay.
let's separate all of our anger because we're
Get
not
it out.
to complain and bitch about this disappointing team. We're here to have some fun.
Yes.
So for all the audience out there, let's try and make them laugh a little bit. I think we have a very fun show tonight. We have a great guest. And
We
yeah.
do.
But before we get into it, Roger, Ross, how are you guys doing outside of the disappointingness?
You know what? I'm doing status quo, man. You know, I got some big plans tomorrow night. I was going to wear it for the draft. I was going to wear my Snoopy, my special occasion shirt, but I got a special occasion tomorrow night, so I got a fancy dress tomorrow, so I'm going to wear that tomorrow night. So the little thing I got. And I got belated birthday beer. Have you ever gotten belated birthday beer? Grandma Barb, Grandpa Bob, my wife's grandparents. Grandpa Bob's a Italian from North Hill, and they got me a card. Look at that.
Beer doesn't
Beer.
make that. It makes you lean.
It makes you fat, makes you lean. And it makes you lean on bars, tables, chairs, walls, and podcasts. So cheers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's all I got. Status quo. How about you, Ross? How you doing?
Well, my softball league started up again, so my Wednesdays are even more busy now. So
Yeah, that's
at
awesome.
least we won both games, got the doubleheader, and then I get to come on the dog chug. So drink beer before the game, after the game, and during the dog chug. So
Andy, is it possible to remote a dog chug live at Ross's softball game this
anything is
season?
possible, Roger. Let's make it happen.
well, every game is 7 and 8 o'clock every week. So
I'm bringing my glove.
if you make that happen, you can do it live from the Nike field in Parma.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully by the end of the show, we'll all be leaning and we'll forget, how disappointing the end of this season was. So let's just get right to it.
Okay.
What we're gonna start the show with the Dog Chug updates. And, with the draft coming tomorrow, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I don't know if you guys listen to any other podcasts out there, but we, the Dog Chug, continue to be the best possible draft coverage out there. Outside of Network 2 and 6, big draft extravaganza. Everyone should go check that out Friday and Saturday. But what about before the draft? What podcast prepares you the best? And it's the Dog Chug, no doubt.
No.
We're not going to bore you with our uninformed mock drafts that go on for 50 minutes and they don't even come close to what's actually going to happen.
No.
We do it differently here in the Dog Chug. We're going to give you informed, detailed information because we're about to have on a guest that's actually already seen the draft and the 2023 season and knows what's going to happen. So welcome back to the Dog Chug with the assists of our amazing technology, Future Manch. Hello, everyone, back in April 2023. Here's a little advice. Enjoy this summer, because when AI starts taking over everything, things get shitty really fast.
Wow.
What do you think? AI is going to be great. Anyway, can you summarize how the Browns do this weekend and the players they draft, the impact they'll have in the 2023 season? Honestly, I didn't even watch. And none of the guys really did anything in the 2023 season. I think there was this kid from Texas that got on a couple special team plays. I can't remember his name, but he tore his ACL.
Well, we got that to look forward to.
Wonderful. Andy, I can't believe you brought a guy on that doesn't even bother to watch the draft.
Look, we got a
And
lot.
that asshole is you too. So
Got a lot going on right now. And now that I know we don't draft anyone that helps, I feel like it's pointless to watch anyway. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But all right, let's continue this interview. So you didn't pay much attention to the draft, but that actually makes sense since the Browns don't really have a lot of picks and they have a very complete roster without many holes. Yeah. So the big question, how did the Cleveland Browns do in the 2023 season? If 2021 season was strike one and 2022 was strike two, similar to the Cavs and Guardians, the Cleveland Browns in 2023 completely strike out. No, that's impossible because clearly Deshaun Watson gets his groove back and has a tremendous season. I even read a poem from Nick Carnes about it.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. I touched you.
Did he fall asleep again?
He's coming back up.
Well, he actually plays better, but the defense continues having its lapses. And every time we get into a fourth quarter situation to win the game, the offense just fails to execute. Deshaun calls out Stefanski by week 6. And by week 8, he gets fired. But nothing really changes. We end up finishing last in the division again, which is really surprising considering the Pittsburgh Steelers only threw 1 touchdown pass the entire season. Ugh.
Yeesh.
Roger, I think you have a line here.
Oh.
I got to hear more from this Future Manch guy.
You're ready for my update?
No, what's your? I thought you had a question.
Oh no! I was thinking back to the last time we had Future Mansion, and it was the Baker Mayfield era, and he wasn't brimming with enthusiasm then, and he wasn't really right about any of it either. So
that's true. I thought though you were going to ask Future Manch about Aaron Rodgers and if he's going to have a successful season with the Jets. So, Roger, why don't you ask that question?
Okay, go ahead. I asked it.
All right. Future Manch. Well, everything starts out great with a solid opening press conference, but then he skips OTAs. Reports start emerging that some of the players haven't even met him and feel alienated by him. He shows up late to camp after a nasty breakup with pop star Halsey, and he's 15 pounds overweight. He makes multiple references about being angry that the Jets pass on him in the 2005 draft. He starts a contract dispute, and then 2 days before the season's set to kick off, he retires citing some cancer diagnosis. That's complete bullshit.
What? Who the hell is this guy? He can't be from the future. He just hates on everything. You guys should bring on someone who knows something.
All right. Well, we do have another special guest. Unfortunately, his mic is broke, but we do have him from the future.
I'm Future Ross the Sock Boss. What do you want to know about the future? I'm Future Ross the Sock Boss. What do you want to know about the Sounds like AI.
Okay. Well, Future Ross, why don't you tell us about how the Lamar Jackson situation finally unfolds. We're all very interested in this one.
Lamar threatens to hold out of camp, and the Ravens double down. They're not trading, so he switches up his strategy, trying the Gandhi playbook and doing a kind of silent protest. He shows up to the facility every day on time, but for every meeting or practice, he shits his pants and insists on sitting in it. At first, his teammates and coaches try to deal with it, but then he goes on a Brussels sprouts only diet. Eventually, their efforts to open all the windows doesn't work, and during practice, J.K. Dobbins keeps throwing up and fumbling the ball, and then they give in and end up trading him to the Jets to replace Rodgers. Lamar
Wow. Holy.
Whoa.
Well, you know what, man? How come every time we do this dumb bit, we never go to Future Roger? Andy, you've never once said, hey, never once. And I demand to hear Future Roger. I'm going to start like just shitting my pants and getting old right here and morph into Future.
All right. Let's bring on Future Roger.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I knew We got a Michigan hat.
Wait, are you telling me that Dan makes it longer than future Roger?
Like, apparently.
Ah,
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's
that was not informative at all. What is
Just a little bit.
All right. Well, to conclude our amazing technology,
it was.
did actually send us draft reviews for the 4 teams in our division, so we can tell you how each team graded out. Usually these come out days after the draft, which is ridiculous. But at the Dog Chug, they come before the draft because we're amazing. So, Roger, why don't you get us started and give your draft grade to the Baltimore Ravens?
All right. Baltimore Ravens had one goal in mind when they made their selections for the 2023 NFL Draft: make Lamar Jackson happy. They knew that if they could put together a group of players that would make Lamar feel loved and appreciated, he'd be more likely to sign a long-term deal with the team. Their first-round pick was a surprise, a giant inflatable slide shaped like an asparagus. Lamar had mentioned in passing how much he loved those inflatable obstacle courses, so the Ravens decided to go all out and get him a full-size one in the shape of his favorite vegetable. In the second round, the Ravens selected a group of llamas. Are they a group or a herd? A herd of llamas. As Lamar had mentioned that he always wanted a pet llama. The llamas are going to be trained to run around the practice field during a training camp, bring a smile to Lamar's face every time he sees them. The third round pick was a bit of a departure from the theme, as the Ravens selected a team of professional chefs to prepare Lamar's favorite meals every day, from chicken nuggets with dippy sauce to his mom/agent's meatloaf surprise. Other notable picks include a giant trampoline, a troupe of Broadway dancers to perform for Lamar during halftime, and a personalized video game featuring Lamar as the main character. Though criticized, the Ravens believed that building a team around Lamar's happiness would lead to on-field success.
Wow. Okay, so what would your grade be then?
Oh, yeah, there is a grade here. I'm going to give him a B.
A B, okay.
A B.
All right, we can beat that. All right, Ross, I think you are going to review and grade the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah. I know them pretty well after living there for a few years. I know the fan base and how they operate. I know how things go down there. The Cincinnati Bengals went into the 2023 NFL Draft with one goal in mind: save money. Mike Brown realized he'd never be able to afford Joe Burrow's long-term extension unless he significantly cut operating costs. Their first-round pick was a group of highly trained pigeons, which could be used to deliver messages in place of expensive communication devices. In the second round, the Bengals selected a team of professional recyclers who would be responsible for collecting and processing all of the team's waste. This would save the team a significant amount of money on trash collection fees and landfill costs. The third round pick was a bit of a stretch, but the Bengals selected a group of highly trained goats that would eat the grass on the field to keep it trimmed, saving the team on money on lawn care services. Other notable picks included a team of accountants to find every possible tax deduction, a group of bargain hunters to negotiate contracts with free agents, and a team of lawyers to comb through every aspect of the team's budget to find areas of cut costs. While some fans may be skeptical of the team's approach, the Bengals owner was confident that their frugality would pay off in the long run.
Wow. And your grade?
Wow.
I'm going to give them an A- because I know they still don't have the money and they won't be able to keep Joe Burrow. And as a Browns fan, that's a good thing.
And I'm going to give you an A+ on that read. Good job.
I'm just glad you didn't put frugality in one of mine. All right. We're on to the Steelers in the 2023. Are we on to the Steelers? On to the Steelers in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers decided to take a unique approach to their draft strategy. Instead of looking for most physical gifted athletes, the team focused on finding people with tiny hands. With their first-round pick, the Steelers selected a world-renowned watchmaker. Despite their diminutive hand size, this individual had to hone their craft to perfection. And with teensy-weensy digits, he can work on the smallest gears with precision. In the second round, the Steelers chose a renowned sushi chef. Sushi chef. Despite their small hands, this chef has mastered the art of creating perfectly crafted sushi rolls, each one masterpiece of flavor and presentation. The team believed that this player's ability to work with finesse that would translate well to the football field. With their third-round pick, the Steelers selected Rocky the Raccoon, who dominated his years at UNC, proving the ability to pick any lock thanks to his tiny paws that can fit inside any keyhole. Other notable picks include a skilled tailor who had mastered the art of creating intricate clothing designs, a dude that worked at Subway who was unable to check off because his hands were insanely small. He couldn't grip his he can ejaculate any time he got within 5 feet of a woman.
Jeez.
While some fans were skeptical of continuing to draft players with such miniature hands, the team was convinced of success after drafting Kenny Pickett in both of the touchdowns he threw last season, that this was his winning strategy.
Wow.
Jesus.
What a great read. We gotta have
Couldn't
Jerry
help
on
it, man.
to judge.
I'm as surprised as everybody.
All right, and finally, the one we all care about, the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns went into the 2023 NFL Draft with a unique goal in mind to offset some of the bad press they'd received by, drafting players that have strong moral compasses. With their first-round pick, the Browns selected a social media influencer who would use their platform to raise millions of dollars for various charities and causes. In the second round, the Browns selected a nurse who had spent years working in war-torn countries providing medical care to those in need. Her dedication to helping others and her ability to work under pressure made her an ideal fit for the Browns defense. Third round was a bit of a surprise, a farmer who had donated most of his crops to local food banks and homeless shelters. Browns believed that his work ethic and commitment to giving back would be a valuable addition to the team. Other notable picks included a teacher who had spent years working in underprivileged schools and had helped numerous students achieve success, a police officer who had risked his life to save a child from a burning building, and a social worker who had dedicated her life to helping victims of domestic abuse. While some fans may have been surprised by the Browns' unconventional draft strategy, the team is confident that their focus on players with a strong history of generosity and selflessness would go a long way in getting the fans back on board after getting grossed out from the disturbing allegations. And there you have it. The Browns get an A+, obviously.
Wow.
Done.
What else would they get?
That was,
The best of the draft.
We are homers on the Dog Jug. So
Guilty as charged.
you don't even have to watch. And that's amazing that the Browns have a first and second round draft pick. They must have made a lot of moves. Should be pretty exciting tomorrow. And that was the Dog Jug updates.
Wow.
You need to get an official soundbite for the Dog Jug update.
What do you do?
Sometimes halfway through those, I'm lost on a journey as I'm reading. It's more fun when I don't proofread them before going live. I only got to one tonight. And you make them so long that you only give me an opportunity to proofread one before I read it on the line.
Well,
On air.
they were there. You know, it's not my fault you didn't go through the entire document.
I couldn't help.
Whenever it's you making fun of tiny hands, you have to be the one that reads that one. So I'll have to give you two.
There is a big audience out there clamoring for my Kenny Pickett phone call from last year. We're gonna have to play that this year.
We should play that again.
Two people at least have asked about it.
All right. Well, enough nonsense. Let's get to the meat of the show tonight and bring on our great guest. He's actually this is his second time coming on the Dog Chug.
Yeah.
And he is part of the network now, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a writer. He
Article.
writes baseball for Network 216. He writes he said blackjack also, right? And then NEO Sports Insider, where I write with Natalie and all those people over there. So we'll let him tell us.
we'll let him tell us. All right. Well, back to the dog chug, the great Tony. Welcome back to the dog chug, Tony.
What's up? I'm glad to be here again.
Tony.
We're glad to have you on. Most people, they get a taste for us, and then something comes up. Keep on. We love it. We appreciate it. So what do you think about what our division's going to do tomorrow? It's pretty crazy, right?
I'll honestly say I'm not as excited about the draft this year with the lack of picks the Browns have, but I'm interested to see what the Steelers and Ravens do for sure.
Oh, you already found out what they're going to do if you were paying attention.
Yeah, I was. I like that. Definitely works in our favor.
It'll be amazing when the Ravens draft a inflatable slide in the first round. Jeez, it can't be worse than what the Browns have done some of their previous seasons.
Anything beats Justin Gilbert in the first round.
I forgot about that.
Johnny
I
Manziel.
stored that in a part of my brain I don't access anymore.
That was Johnny Manziel and Justin Gilbert, right? Yeah.
I
That was-
think so.
That was the worst of all of our shitty first rounds. That wins the award.
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't think we can ever top that. Hope we can never top that. Anyway. Well, let's get some good Browns, Cavs, Guardians talk going with an edition of Spit Sip Chug, because that's always fun, right? Tony, you remember how to play this game? We're just going to make a statement. If you agree, you chug. If you don't, you spit. Roger is not allowed to sip, but you're allowed to sip.
Again?
Yeah, that was fun. Everyone reached out and said how much better Spit Sip Chug was without you being able to.
All the fan mail.
Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback.
Oh, okay.
The only one that had negative feedback was Ed in Columbus, who said it was a shitty show because I wasn't on.
Well, hey, that was our first Ed mention tonight. It 24 minutes in the show. Last week we didn't get 8 minutes in, and it was.
Well,
I
Ed
have
Palooza.
one. I have one, but I don't think I can say it.
oh, well, just say it and I'll be the guest. And if you can't say it, we'll edit it out. How about that?
I was just gonna say, obviously Ed in Columbus never has anyone around him spitting, as we know.
Ooh. Yeah, we shouldn't have. We'll edit that out, Ross.
We're gonna have to
We're
edit
live.
that out.
Crap.
He's just saying that because he doesn't really like to drink, so anytime he does, he spits. That's all that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to Spit, Sip, Chug. Roger, we're going to start with you. So, you got to remember, you can only chug or you can only spit. The Cleveland Cavaliers will rebound from losing the opening series against the New York Knicks.
I'm chugging on it.
Wow. And oh, sorry. Before MC Lawrence asks, is Ed banned? I just want to clear this up. No, he is not banned. We just wanted to have a show that had more than 2 people watching, so we didn't have him on tonight. Sorry, Roger.
Well, yeah. What did I do? I chugged,
Yeah, you chugged.
but I'm going to give my sip answer. I think there's going to be a lot of things that, man, you know what? I expected them to get past the first round, but we drew the worst team we could possibly draw and playing against the New York Knicks, I thought. But I did expect them to get past this. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't put too many expectations on them, but I think they will rebound. I think they're going to get better. They need to get deeper, and they'll be man, Evan Mobley's just getting started, man. Cavs are going to rebound and be just fine. I'm chugging with my answer, too. How about that?
All right. Tony. Wow.
I'm gonna
shit.
sip, and I have faith in the Cavs to rebound next season, but at the same time, I have a little bit of doubt because, as we've seen this year, very lax at the deadline, did not make any moves when they clearly needed to. I just hope this front office makes the right decision heading into next season. There's a lot of top-tier free agents available. They need a wing very badly, and some bench depth, which has killed them all season. I said that back in November, and it came back to bite them tonight and this series.
All right. usually I have an answer prepared. Today I don't. I still don't know which way I'm going to go, but I just want to say that this was horrible. This was absolutely horrible. Young team, obviously, and young teams, sometimes this happens, but so are the Knicks. And they just kicked our ass. I really felt like whoever won game one was going to win the series, and Cavs just stumbled, and just couldn't get it back together. So I'm going to say I do think they will rebound. They've got so much talent. They just gotta face a little Kevin Stefanski adversity and figure out how to come back from this. I think they'll do it. So I guess I'm chugging. Ross.
I'm going to chug on it. There's no way Evan Mobley isn't better offensively next year. I mean, the fact that he's scoring so few points in this Knicks series is kind of embarrassing, but he does get a pass because of how young he is. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, but if him alone just had like an impact on offense this series, I mean, we would have won the series in 5 games. So I'm not even talking about free agency and all that other stuff yet. Like, just him getting better. And obviously, like, Garland's still young too, which we can't forget. I mean, he obviously was more ready than Mobley was for this, but that alone, if we're in the same situation next year with Mobley with one more year under his belt, we're going to be a lot more competitive and hopefully get out of the first round. And that's what I mean by rebound. I'm going to say that's my expectation for next year. Get out of the first round. If you make certain moves, maybe you make the expectation in the conference finals, but we can definitely rebound. The fact that we lost in the first round is pretty embarrassing, though, especially when we were the higher seed.
Yeah. Okay. Similarly to statement number 1, statement number 2 is JB Bickerstaff should absolutely be retained into the 2023-24 season. Tony, we're going to start with you.
I'm going to chug on it. I just don't think there's a better replacement out there. Nick Nurse, everyone thinks he's the answer, but he has not done anything in Toronto when he did not have Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pull a Roger and sip on this one, which I hate doing because it's lame, but I don't really have a clear answer. I'm not going to defend. I mean, first of all, the whole team melted down during this series, so I'm not going to just blame coaching and give the players a pass. Everyone sucked. Everyone did a horrible job. Everyone has to do better. Is JB in over his head to win in playoff basketball? I don't know enough about the game to answer that question. I hope he gets another chance, and I hope he redeems himself. But, man, like Tony said, if there was a replacement out there that's better, we can explore it. But maybe there isn't. So maybe we go another year, we see what happens. I am concerned. One of the situations, hard to defend the guy, but it's also hard to be super critical that he's absolutely the issue because everybody sucked. Ross.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull a Roger, unfortunately, and sit. I'm going to have to call it an Andy at this point. But it's a tough call. So I was like a JB defender during the season when everyone was saying, like, he's terrible, this and that. I really believed in his, like, rah-rah mentality and, like, being the player's coach. It seemed like it meant something. It wasn't just the bullshit thing of, like, hey, I can't come up with good inbounding plays or good plays out of timeouts. The X's and O's didn't matter as much because he got the guys to like each other. Like, there's definitely like there's a part of this team that's really nice where all the guys get along, and that does matter. Like, I never really saw players flipping out on each other, which is good. But on the other side is like sometimes you do need the X's and O's, and I feel like that's kind of why we lost this series. Like, Tom Thibodeau coached circles around him. We just never figured anything out. It just seemed like when something didn't work, we just kept doing the same thing over and over again. We didn't necessarily set up a whole bunch of open shots. It was just like he gave up and just said, hey, this is how we play, whatever. And that's why we lost in 5 games. He didn't say, let's try something out. Let's figure something out. He just gave up. So if the right coach is out there, that's why I'm sipping. Maybe I would say consider replacing him. But I'm not going to say fire him right away. I was very close to spitting on this one, but I held back. My opinion changed very quickly on JB because the fact that we lost this in 5 games is downright embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't even like they lost any of these games close. They got just blown out every time. Now everyone is super excited. Me and Ross took the lame answer and sipped. Roger cannot sip, which puts a lot of pressure on you. So we're all waiting. Are you going to chug or are you going to spit?
I've been. It's a dilemma. Which one are we on again?
JB
Oh,
be retained, and don't forget you have the loophole. You could do, one side, and then you could just give your answer in a more moderate.
no, you know what? I'm gonna chug on it.
Oh,
Keep him.
you're a JB defender. Oh my god.
I'm chugging because like Lenny Wilkins isn't available, Mike Fratello isn't available, and you know what? He started out. Who's Mike Brown? He started out. Huh?
He was coach of the year this year.
I don't. You know what? Everybody wants to fire coaches in Cleveland. Jesus, it's every other game. Let's fire the coach. Everybody knows better. Keep JB. I think he's a brilliant defensive-minded coach. I think that's why they play defense the way they did is because of JB Bickerstaff. So I just think they need to, get him an offensive coordinator. Van Pelt's not doing anything in Berea. He's just standing around. Nobody says a word about Alex. Get him to run the offense over there at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
That's great. Good job.
All right. Thanks.
When we force you to pick one side, you're more interesting. Okay. Statement number 3, the Cleveland Guardians are headed in the right direction long term, but in the short term, this will be a down year where we miss the playoffs. Look, I'm still all in on the Guardians. I know they've been playing horrible. We play pretty bad every April and part of May, and then they get their asses in gear. You look at Josh Bell. He couldn't hit anything. He looked horrible, and now he's just looking great. So things change pretty fast sometimes in baseball. I'm all in. Give me more Guardians baseball. They're going to get it together. Ross.
Oh man, usually Roger goes before me so I could bum off of his opinion because Roger's who I go to for all my baseball knowledge and I trust his word. But I mean,
do you want Roger to go first?
No. I actually want to give my own opinion. I'm going to spit. So there we go. Maybe Roger will bum off me for once. But like Andy says over and over again, and I think everyone in Cleveland does, it's proven that Tito just for some reason his teams do better later in the season. Time and time again. It's not like it seems like every single year we either get some kind of win streak or we get a good stretch. And this team's going to be no different. Maybe they'll have an even better stretch than we're used to because of this young talent just figuring it out as the season goes on. Heck, we had a guy make his rookie debut at pitching today and had an amazing start. So there is a path to getting better, and baseball's hard. Right, Roger? Baseball's hard, and it's a long season.
Baseball's hard, man.
What's the percentage of the season we're in? Like 20, we're 20 games in, so yeah, we're not even 20% off, 20% in, so we got a while. Don't give up.
All right. Roger, you are our Guardians expert.
Spitting. And last year we lost 7 in a row to the Yankees and the Angels. Everybody was calling for Tito's head. It was April. And we finished 9-12, I think, last year in April. The Guardians are just getting started. Everybody's excited about the kid that pitched today. I guess Tito said he's going to stay up here. I didn't expect that to happen. I figured they bounce these kids back and forth and take turns, throwing on days when they need somebody. But he seems to be ready. I think Guardians are going to be just fine, man. Just fine. It's April. Ross said everything. Ross is who I listen to when it comes to baseball.
All right, Tony.
All right, I'm going to break the trend. I'm going to sip, and let me explain why. Last season, we played terrible in April, but we played some of the toughest teams in baseball throughout April. This season, We are playing the worst fucking teams in all of Major League Baseball, and we are losing games. But I am excited for the future. Tanner looked good today. Gavin Williams is in AAA now. Tristan McKenzie is going to come back. The pitching staff's going to get it together. Tanner's next start, if he stays up, I believe, will be in Yankee Stadium, though, so I'm interested to see that.
Yep.
But I'm going to sit because the losses, it's not so much the losses, it's who we're losing to that's concerning for me.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It
And yes, Logan Allen looked great as well, Jessica. Thank you for that.
Okay. For the final two spit sip chugs, we're going to do a little differently. I'm going to make a statement. You're going to answer it. And then if everyone else agrees, not a statement, a question. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to answer the question. If everyone agrees, we'll all chug or spit. We'll go around the horn. So the first question is, what is the most important position the Browns need to draft this weekend? So if you agree with what everyone says, you chug. And if you disagree, you spit. Ross, we'll start with you.
Honestly, I think it's got to be defensive end. We got to get someone we're going to develop. I don't know if they're going to be an immediate starter, but maybe they could add some depth. So that's my pick. I obviously we have the best defensive end in the league. Just getting someone who's average or above average is just going to help them that much more.
Okay.
All right. My turn?
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say that, but I'm going to stay in the front seven and say defensive tackle.
Okay.
All right.
They made a lot of moves. You're saying we need more. Why?
I just think that I have no faith in the two guys that we had in the room going into this season before Tomlinson and the other pickup. I think they need more people in that room.
More meat?
More meat.
And Mac thinks so too from last week.
Well, if it was up to Mac, we'd have 53 defensive tackles on our roster.
If it was up to Mac, we would have 53 DTs.
We have 53 defensive tackles. Tony.
I'm gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball and say the defensive backfield. We need a corner. We need a safety. Depth is important at that position, especially with injury concerns that some of our guys have had over the past few years.
Good call.
All right. I don't want to repeat an answer. I agree with. Oh yeah, I'm chugging on all three of these.
We just need depth everywhere, right? Might as well chug.
Yeah.
Well, it is interesting. There are a few positions I don't know that we need depth that critically, like linebacker. I don't know that we even have room to add a linebacker. If they had a linebacker. Oh my God, I'm spoiling the next question. I don't want to repeat anyone's answer because I think you guys all said it really well. So I'm going to go offensive tackle. Don't see much depth, and I think you're going to need to develop a starter very quickly because I don't know how much longer we're going to have our two starting offensive tackles for. It's going to get expensive. It would be great if you could bring someone in that could play as good or even better and be a little bit cheaper still. Offensive tackle.
All right. I'm chugging.
All right.
Jedrick Wills is lazy.
Yeah. I should have asked. You know what? Let's make this statement. On May 2nd, the Browns will announce that Jedrick Wills' fifth-year option is picked up. Roger, we'll start with you.
What you said with linebacker, we're on that one, right? What position I'd be most surprised?
No. I'm coming up with a surprise one. The Browns will announce on May 2nd, I think they have to announce it by, that Jedrick Wills' fifth-year option has been picked up. So I think we have to pay like $16 million to get him for one more year.
I think they have to. And what is the possibility of them actually finding a left tackle and when Conklin's done or gone, him going back to playing where he played at in college on the right side because he is a first-round pick? I don't know, but I'm not a defensive line coach or an offensive line coach or even a safety coach for that matter.
All right, so you're chugging?
Well, am I supposed to chug on that? I'm going to chug.
You can chug or spit.
I just open it. I'm going to chug.
All right.
Since I'm not allowed to sip, I'm chugging.
Tony.
I'm gonna chug on it. I think this kind of swings back to the JB replacement Cavs question.
Yeah,
Who are you gonna get better for 1 year? For this year, ride it out with Jed. I wouldn't hate Roger's idea. You draft a left tackle, you try to get a first-round pick, trade for one maybe in the coming years, move Jed back to the right side. Obviously, he's not Joe Thomas. He's never going to be Joe Thomas, but he's the best you can do for this season.
Right. He may not be Orlando Brown. Joe Thomas.
I'm right on board with everyone. We don't have another option, so I think they'll pay a lot of money to keep Jed one more year, who is adequate. He's fine. So yeah, I think they will keep him one more year. Ross.
Yeah, what Andy said, we really don't have options. I think they've made all the moves they want to make right now. Now it's just about drafting, so I'm chugging.
Okay, and then the last question, what's a position you'd be the most surprised if the Browns drafted in like the third or fourth round? So in other words, we don't need a player drafted that high at that position. You're not allowed to use special teams because that's cheating.
Nah, damn it. Bubba Ventrone needs guys.
Tony, what's a position we don't need someone in the third or fourth round?
I think the obvious answer would be quarterback. I mean, or running back, either or. Quarterback or running back, absolutely.
Okay. Why we don't need to find Deshaun's long-term backup?
Deshaun's here for the next 50 years, and we have Dobbs, we have always going to be quarterbacks, always going to be a backup or a third-string quarterback hanging around on day 3. You don't need to waste a third-round pick on him.
Okay. I'm not convinced on that, so I'm going to spend it. I think if they love someone that's like in a fourth round position, it'd actually be valuable to have a long-term backup at a. I would appreciate that. So I'm going to spin on that one.
Let's go with them.
All right. I am going to go. What position do we need long-term? Answer. Well, I said linebacker. I don't think we have room to add a linebacker that high, so I'm gonna go linebacker because if you look at the room, we don't have any like superstars, really. Anyone that's like proven talent, but I do think they've got a pretty good group of guys. If you add someone that high, you're gonna have to get rid of somebody, which doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't think they should invest in that position that high. So I will go. You can all spit
now. I'm chugging on that. I think Schwartz with Koromoa. I think he's going to put him in position to be more successful. Larry Walker coming back is huge in the run. And Taki's good in run defense, when they don't have guards, killing them. So I'm chugging on you, Andy.
I'm chugging for Larry Walker having a great.
Or what?
Larry Walker, he's going to have a great year. Love that guy. Ross.
All right. I think we're due for this. I don't know if this would be a rant. Listen up, nerds. Just because we don't have a first and second round pick and you're trying to get your high PFF draft grade by being an idiot and drafting running backs with your first, third, or fourth pick because it has good value and this player is rated good. Guess what? We don't need a fucking running back. We got Nick Chubb, and we got him backed up by Jerome Ford. And then if we need another backup, we'll pick one up in free agency. Don't waste your picks on drafting a third-string running back or possibly a backup to Nick Chubb. It's not worth it. So I'd be super surprised if our analytics-driven organization wastes their best pick or early pick or any pick on a running back. It's just completely ridiculous. We're fine there. We're set. If we need to get one, we'll get one. Draft for diamonds in the rough at all these other positions where we need depth. Like, heck, even though we have our O-line pretty much covered, you got to draft depth and develop them. You got to draft the D-line depth, safeties, corners, everywhere. But I'd say, like, dead last outside of special teams because Andy said I couldn't pick that and be, how funny are you? Oh, you're going to draft a kicker or punter, huh? No, you don't need a running back. You're just wasting your time talking about it. Just because PFF tells you it's a great pick doesn't mean we need it.
Wow. It's going to be so funny to play that
We
clip.
do not need a running back.
When the Browns draft a running back in the 4th round and he ends up becoming like an amazing player, we're going to play this at the beginning of every show. It's going to be phenomenal.
And I'm going to be caught on camera saying Nick Chubb's amazing, and then everyone's going to be like, he's right.
Well, you are right about that. But you do need a running back room, and right now we have 2 guys. So, Roger.
In the draft.
Oh man, I don't. We already covered. My infatuation with Larry Walker in the linebacker room has already been covered. We're going to. I can't pick place kicker. They've already got the sensation with York, and when they pick him, and they. I don't know, man. Wide receiver. I'd be surprised if they go out and get another wide receiver in the 3rd or 4th round. How about that?
Jacob's a nerd.
Jacob Roach.
I told you, it's the first nerd. If nerd's going to come on here and say something about how we need a running back.
Right.
Ross, will you take the bet? And now I think this is saying they draft a running back in the draft, right?
Oh, I'm not betting. I'm on like a 5-bet losing streak right now. So
you will make a claim that they're not going to.
I can do a bet that doesn't involve money.
Well, Jacob, if you want to make like a chug something gross bet, I think he'll take you up on that. Please post in the comments. All right, Roger, I love your answer. I agree. That was like my number 2 choice. We have so many wide receivers. We need to add talent, obviously, but not in the 3rd or 4th round. Just don't do it.
Right.
Because I don't even know that they're going to be able to get many snaps with the room as constructed. So I don't see.
Unless Bubba needs a gunner on special teams, then go get a wide receiver that's a gunner.
Jacob's now calling you a coward, Ross.
Hey, because I don't want to bet money?
Yeah, I mean, he did propose drinking.
I can do anything else. I just thought
down.
Nick J. Yeah.
What about?
I can do hot food. That's not a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, Jacob, instead of insulting the guy, if you want to propose an alternative,
send him a link.
Yeah. Do you want to come on and we can settle this right now?
Oh, we'll figure it out.
You don't want to have a nerd join the show? All right.
I'm a nerd too in my own ways.
Hey, we'll do it on the draft weekend. We're running all weekend. It's like a telethon, for God's sakes. We can hash this out on the 216 draft.
That is true.
Maybe I'll invade it. If we draft a running back, I have to pop on the telecast.
What if we settle the bet during the Network 216 draft extravaganza, so we could like make something
Friday night?
Yeah. All right, we'll figure it out on Friday night. Speaking of nerds, though, I do want to point out, waste everyone's time, that I took my 4-year-old daughter to see Mario this weekend. Ross, I know you're a big Nintendo fan. That was so much fun. Really enjoyed
That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that was great. Everyone should go check it out. I mean, if you have kids, if you don't. No.
Anyway. You're allowed to be a Mario nerd. You just can't be a draft nerd. Is that what my take is?
You could be a draft nerd or a Mario nerd. I appreciate all nerd.
No, I do too. That was just my rant about running backs.
Tony,
Nothing
what's
personal, Jacob?
your take on nerds?
You cut out there at the end. Can you repeat yourself?
I apologize. What is your take on nerds?
I don't mind them. We need people for draft grades and stuff like that. Always need them. I'm not a big analytics fan though, so I understand what Ross is saying.
The earlier contributor to the show, my buddy Mike, he's been on a bunch of times. He was watching Revenge of the Nerds, and his take is, I should have him on to explain this. It's like it's a really uncomfortable movie. Like the women were treated really creepily by the nerds, like really like hardcore. I haven't watched the movie.
I just watched it.
Yeah,
I watched about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and yeah, he's right. Nerds are creepy. He like snuck into that dark room with her, like in a mask, like pretending to be somebody else. Creepy nerds, man.
So that he could help with her, right?
He snuck in like the head sorority girl was waiting for somebody in like that room that was like
waiting for a jock to come in. So he
Right. And he
jock
creeped in and yeah.
He basically the nerds in that movie were Deshaun Watson. Really.
It's a creepy movie.
Everyone go check out Revenge of the Nerds. It needs to be canceled. I bet mayonnaise and coffee. Will you chug mayonnaise and coffee?
I agree to that. Yeah.
All right, Ross agrees to it.
But by the way, it's a bet though. So if they do not draft running back, that means Jacob does the mayonnaise and coffee.
How about this? Well, no, it should be settled on our show. So Jacob has to come on and drink mayonnaise and coffee, or he should come on while you drink mayonnaise and coffee. Well, it's done. And now, if the Browns draft a running back in the 7th round, does that count?
Yeah, any round.
All right, any round.
I said I'd be surprised if they did it. Maybe that wasn't the right term because there's a good chance they do, but that's just, in my strong opinion, there's no reason to draft one.
Very strong.
I mean, I think it's a very likely because the Browns need a 3rd running back, and why not get someone that's going to be cheap?
They do need a 3rd running back. Jonas Johnson's where? He went to Jacksonville or he went somewhere, and Hunt's not coming back. They gave Ford number 27.
They said that they didn't completely shut the door on Hunt, but there's a 0% chance he's coming back. They're going to draft a running back because this class is loaded, by the way, with running backs. You're going to get value, I think. So I think Jacob's going to win this bet, and I can't wait to watch you drink coffee with mayonnaise.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How much mayonnaise has to be in a cup of coffee?
That's gross.
We have to watch the video. That Kentucky quarterback's the one that did it. We have to watch the video of how much he put in.
Tony, what would you say?
I can agree with that. Just watch the video of Will Levis. And can we talk about another weird thing that he does? He eats bananas with the peels on them. That's foul.
Is that even possible?
They need to take him off everyone needs to take him off the draft board for that alone.
But I mean, he's doing that and everyone's talking about him. Maybe it's genius. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ed is eating bananas with the peel on tomorrow.
Ed's eating pineapples with the peel still on it tomorrow. Big chunks of pineapple.
Ed, I know you're not listening because you only watch when you're on, but I demand you eat a banana peel with a banana with the peel on tomorrow on Twitter and post that. And let's see how that goes.
See how you blow up.
Another question: is the coffee allowed to have? Is it black coffee or is it allowed to have the way people want it? Can it have sugar in it or whatever? I think it should be black coffee with just.
Hey, the only thing you add is mayonnaise.
All right. So what if we say a cup of mayonnaise?
Wait. That changed quickly.
If the coffee's hot, it's just going to melt. It's oil. Mayonnaise is just oil. So it's just going to be oily-ass coffee, man.
It tastes like butter in your coffee.
It's going to be bad.
All right.
I kind of look forward to this.
I can't wait. This is going to be fun. Okay. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Ross now for our final bit. The draft is tomorrow. So, Ross, you came with a little game we could play.
Yeah. So, unlike all those other people, like many of our friends at Network 216 who are doing mock drafts all the time, they're on like mock draft like 22.05 at this point. I guess there's so many different scenarios that could happen, but we're going to have our Booze Draft 1.0. So between the four of us, we're going to have 4 rounds where we just draft our favorite beverages, whether that just be a certain beer, a certain mixed drink we like, maybe a MD 4040, which is Andy's favorite. We'll find out. So without further ado, we're going to kick it off with our guest, Tony. Tony, you get the first pick, and we're not going to do a snake draft. We're going to do the same order every round. So Tony, you have the luxury of going first, and you have the first overall pick in the 2023 Booze Draft.
I'm going to go with Captain Morgan. That's usually my go-to when I drink. I'm not much of a beer drinker, but so just straight up Captain Morgan, no ice. Just give me a straight shot of that, and I'm fine.
Solid pick.
Yeah.
And it's affordable. It'll last a while.
I'm going to keep the affordability thing going because I like getting value for my money. And I like the delicious taste. So I'm going to go with my absolute fave, Natural Light Natter Days. So good. I could drink 14 of those on a summer day, on a winter day, on a spring day. It's whatever. So good.
It's
What
a
is it?
beverage for all occasions.
Yeah, the Natter Days, those are like what? They have those in 30 racks, like Natty Lights too,
30.
right?
Yes, that's the best part. You get an extra a bonus 6 beers for your money, and it's not even that expensive. It's like $20.
Okay. Well, I guess the draft order will just go by how the screen's set up. So I'll go next. And I'm going to go with one of my personal favorites, and I happen to have it here on purpose for this draft. I got the Goggle Fogger from Fatheads. This is my go-to. Hefeweizens are one of my favorite types of beers, and this is my favorite Hefeweizen. We're lucky to have it here in Cleveland. Never gets old. I know it's better in the summer, but I want to take it off the board early so that in the weird case where someone here does, I got to get it now.
Damn it! You stole my pick.
Highly doubt it.
Roger.
Well, I have my franchise beer. Everybody knows my Edmund. That's my franchise beer. I franchise tagged it. But when what I really need to do is draft a beverage that's for all occasions. And I got to go. I'm going to stay within the budget too. And I'm going with my favorite, the Carlo Rossi Paisano. It's like $13 for that big jug. You get a big jug of red Guinea table wine, and it's awesome. That's my number one overall is the Carlo Rossi Paisano. Guinea red Dago wine, man.
All right. I think we're back to Tony, round 2.
I'm going to go with the old reliable, 16-year-old high schooler needs to find some booze. Give me Four Locos.
Oh boy. Did you have original recipe for Loco?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yeah, the original Four
Caffeine,
Locos.
oh yeah.
When it would make your heart do weird things.
Yep.
Absolutely. Love it.
Those were not safe to shotgun, I'll tell you that.
They were not. They're not even safe to drink, let alone shotgun.
I don't know. Christian loved chugging Four Locos, but the non-alcoholic version, of course. That kid's crazy. All right. For my second round pick, I am going with, no one will be surprised, Fireball. But obviously, in variety, it's got to be the real thing. It's delicious. It's fun. And no matter how bad you're feeling, another shot of Fireball always sounds like a good idea. So I love it. Thank you, Fireball. You made drinking whiskey cool again.
All right. So I guess I'm up, and I'm going to take a classic. I don't care how cheesy it is. It's still the best mixed drink. You got to go with the margarita. I mean, if you make it right, make it authentic, like with straight limes, triple sec, tequila, salt on the rim, make it at home like that. Don't buy the pre-mixed stuff. That's the way to go. It's awesome. And even when I go to a Mexican restaurant and get like the generic one, it's still awesome. Maybe get a little stronger so you taste the tequila more, but I'm going with the Marg.
Okay. Roger.
You know what? I've been thinking about, I'm going back to the 90s. I'm going old school. I'm going to the Der Brewmeister on 130th when I play softball for him, and we drank Flying Nazis. And it was Jaeger and Jack Daniels, and you did Flying Nazis, and that's what you drank, and we drank it like men.
All right. What is in one of the, I don't want to say the name because that name is forbidden on the dog show, but what is in that drink? Because
that's a Jägermeister and Jack Daniels. It was a Flying Nazi at the Der Brewmeister on 130th and Lorraine. Jaeger and Jack.
Okay.
Boy, that'll grow some hair on your chest.
I got to be honest. I love both those drinks, so I do want to try those. We just got to come up with a
Flying Nazis, man.
We're going to need a better name.
This will be the final edition of the Dog Chug, everyone. Thank you for watching.
It was a popular West Side
Robbie
drink.
didn't make
Hey,
the name. The establishment did.
you could have
Yeah,
went into any bar in the '90s in Lakewood and ordered one, and they knew they pour it for you. They know exactly what you wanted.
Back in the
YouTube,
day.
YouTube might demonetize this show.
All right. Who are we on? I think we're back to Tony. Round three.
I'm gonna go back to rum with some Parrot Bay. Clearly, if you haven't figured it out, I like rum. That's my liquor of choice. I take a little bit of the coconut Parrot Bay and throw in some of the blue Gatorade. Tastes great.
Blue Gatorade with the drink. I never tried that. So you get hydrated while you're drinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my next choice, this is an easy one. You know, sometimes you're at the bar all day and you're feeling great and you order whatever you order, but sometimes you show up a little bit late and your friends are all already having a good time and they're annoying. I don't know if you ever hung out with drunk people and you're sober, but they're annoying. Well, if you want to counter that feeling and you want to catch up to them very quickly, just order Long Island iced tea.
Okay, what?
What's that?
Nothing. It was a joke.
Got it. You order a Long Island iced tea. That will be my.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Long Island
You
iced
got
tea,
that in the
yeah.
third round.
Yeah.
That's
You order.
That's a better-
If you drink 2 of those, you're good the whole night. They pretty much
that yeah.
everything in the bar in there. Very little non-alcoholic liquid goes in there, so you're getting bang for your buck. It's a great selection.
Yeah, I
That's a good
started
one.
drinking
I
those
think we got it in
one.
the third round.
Yeah, I knew they were bad news after a couple of them. I was like, I can get used to these, and yeah, good choice, Andy. Long Island.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Ross.
All right. So I knew I could save this one just knowing my crowd, but normally I think this would go earlier. But my go-to chugging beer at tailgates, mass consumption, best of the domestic brand, Miller Lite.
Ooh,
Had to take that off the board before it's gone.
whew, man, that's like the Brandon Ween of draft picks right there, Miller Lite.
All right.
Roger.
Roger.
Man, this is the last one, right?
No, this is your third.
Oh, it's my third.
Yep.
I got to give man. I got to go with Dewars. I'm a Scotch guy. I got to go with the Scotch. Dewars and I like Dewars and soda. That's my holiday drink or wedding. If it's an open bar and somebody else is paying the bill, I'm drinking Dewars all night.
All right. Love it. Back to Tony for your final pick.
I can't believe I'm grabbing this in the 4th round, but Crown Royal.
Oh,
Oh, God damn it. That was I had that on my board. Had that on my big board.
yeah. First of all, I hate this beer, but because it's absolutely disgusting tasting. But I'm so sick of being on Twitter reading all the bullshit nonsense. So I'm just gonna give them a pity pick. I don't actually want to drink it, but I want to support it because I think the band is really fucking stupid. So I'm just gonna get a Bud Light.
There you go.
Bud Light. Oh, there you go. Equal opportunity beer, I think.
Hey, no one loves it. No one hates it. If you have it at a party, everyone will have it.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. I'm just getting it just to give a reverse fuck you to the people that continuously say fuck you to people just living their lives.
Oh,
I can agree with that.
that's a statement, not a draft pick.
All right. Well, for my last pick, I'm happy this one's still on the board. I'm going to go with Jameson.
Nice.
Nice.
It's not. I think my whole thing was I fell in love with it when I had bottle shots of it at my cousin's wedding bus. It's actually very smooth for being like this commercially successful drink. It's legit.
Yeah.
It's not just the marketing I fell for. I had a few of it and then I'm like, you know what? I love Jameson. If I'm picking a shot, that's what I'm going to.
Nice.
All right,
Rodgers,
Roger, you get the final pick in the draft. This is Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Orel, you know, this is tough for me. Man, I was gonna go with wine coolers, but I remembered I'm not 16 in high school trying to score with St. Augustine girls no more, so I don't need wine coolers. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock.
That's like
If
that's
I'm
like
in a
drafting
bar,
kicker.
if I'm in a
Like
bar
drafting
and
a
they don't
kicker.
have good beer, I'm going to get a 33. I'm going to get a Rolling Rock. I'm going to go back to old school and get a bucket if need be. The bucket of Rolling Rocks.
Okay. Well, this might be Roger's last episode of the Dog Chug, everyone. Well done.
Hey, it's his draft, not mine.
That's almost as bad as when the Cincinnati Bengals drafted the goats to trim the field. Jeez.
Oh, you crack yourself up.
Yeah, I really like that one. Listen, why don't we go to the 5th round? Because we're having so much fun with this, and I think the audience would enjoy one more round. So, Tony.
Miller High Life, the champagne of beer.
Oh boy.
They got sued for saying because it's not champagne.
Oh, the champagne of beers, yeah. It's not champagne.
I'm really disappointed I'm not mentioning Coors Light because that is like my favorite beer. So I'm just mentioning it so that I could at least mention that I mentioned it, but I'm not going to pick that. Coors Light's awesome. But I remember when I was younger, and you know when you're young and like you liked the feeling of alcohol, but you didn't actually like tasting the alcohol. This one was amazing. Boone's Farm. You could drink 2 of those. It was awesome. They were like what, $1.50 a piece or something?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I remember that was like the first thing I ever chugged an entire thing out of the bottle, and everyone at the party thought I was awesome. And that's kind of what got my chugging ways started. So I just had to come up with a fake round, 5th round, so I can mention that dumb story. Boone's Farm. I don't know if you still exist, but if you do, I'm.
Oh yeah, it's still out there.
Please, someone tell me where I can find it so I can drink one next week on the Dog Jug.
Hey, I'm working. I was working in the hood. I don't know, about 6 months ago, and I went into a gas station. I'm walking down the aisle, and I look, and there's Boone's Farm, man. I was like, all right.
All right. Well,
Country's still in good shape.
If anyone's around a place that has that, please acquire me like 6 of those.
I'm finding you Boone's Farm.
I've drank 5 beers in a minute. I would like to drink 6 pounds of Boone's in a minute or something. Okay, let's move on. Ross.
All right, I'm doing this strictly as this is just draft strategy 101. I think someone's gonna make me an offer for some picks after I make this. So I'm going with Coors Light.
Yes.
I feel like it's just a good thing to have on my roster. I got the Miller Lite. I know.
My Long Island for your Coors Light.
I mean, you want to trade me your Long Island? That's a pretty solid one. So I got 2 beers on my roster. I got a lot of depth at beer. I got 3 beers on my 5-round picks. I'll trade you the Coors Light for the Long Island.
Yes.
So wait, you just traded your 3rd-round pick for a 5th-round pick the same day of the draft. You know how many? You know how Twitter's gonna hate you.
Yeah.
They're gonna say you're the worst drafting GM in the league.
Yeah, but I'll be happy.
Okay, I think it's a fair trade.
Roger.
Oh man, I'm running out of. I just had one and then I lost it. I'm gonna go with Pat Blue Ribbon and a can of V8 for those nights when you've just been playing poker for 2.5 days and you really need something to hit the spot. I think a PBR with the V8 mixed in it is what you need in that situation. So I'm going to draft that.
Bloody Marys.
I'm going to draft that in case I end up back in 1992 somehow.
Brett, I think that concludes the Dog Chug Booze Drafts.
Wow.
Good job, team.
Ross, I think you won the draft. You had really good depth up here.
Well, he made a solid trade at the end of the day. That's what good GMs do. And then you got undrafted free agents. You just go to your whatever you got in your fridge and just drink it right now. Those are your undrafted free agents.
Right. And you know what? I saw Mel Kiper. I'm pretty much the same. What he has the same thing, but he still has wine coolers on his. So I don't know what he's up to. But his draft and mine, but Boo's draft are about the same. So I know I did pretty good.
All right. Okay, well, that concludes that bit. Tony, I wanted to ask, where is your current feelings about the Browns right now in the season they're about to have? We're a little bummed about, the Cavs, the Guardians, got to get things going. But where do you feel the Browns are at right now?
I'm very optimistic, but I'm grounded in reality, and I don't want to put any expectations on this team until I see them prove it on the field, because I'm tired of this off-season champions bullshit that we've been hearing for the last 2 years, and it never comes to fruition. We look like absolute garbage. So when they finally prove it on the field, I'll full force say, fuck it, we're going to win a Super Bowl. But until then, I'm just riding the wave. Whatever happens, happens.
Wow.
So if you had to put a, win total within like a game or two, where are you at?
I'm going to say 10. 8 to 10 wins for the Browns this season.
Oh,
Wow.
that's not going to get the division done.
Mm.
So who's going to win the division?
It definitely a toss-up. I think if Cincinnati stays healthy, the Bengals will take it. But I think it'll come down to a late season game between Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Okay.
And does Lamar Jackson, I know we already found out that he's going to get traded to the Jets, but do you think he's going to stay with Baltimore or,
Lamar Jackson's going to be a Miami Dolphin before too long. That's my prediction on that.
Wow.
Holy cow. So the division,
Right here first.
it would be wide open. And then most importantly, the Steelers had a way above expectation season. How many games did they win? Like 9?
9? Yeah.
Where do they fall this year?
I think they'll compete for second place, maybe another wild card spot.
Really?
They're Mike Tomlin, I'll give him his due. He's a good coach. He finds a way to win with the talent he has. And you can never count out a team like Pittsburgh. They've been so consistent over the last 2-3 decades that they're always going to be in the running, I feel like.
Okay. As long as they have that Watt fellow. They're not very good without him lately. Anyway. Well, you've just made me sad, but hopefully you're dead wrong.
I would love to be wrong, but
Hey,
past performance makes it hard to.
Yeah.
Tony, before we do sign up, tell us where everybody can find you so you get all the hate mail and Dog Chuck doesn't get it. For what you just predicted. Make sure it's all directed to you. Tell us where everybody can find you.
You can follow me on Twitter. Look through the Dog Chuck page of the promo for tonight. My Twitter is in the tweet, one of their promo tweets. Send me all the hate mail you want. My DMs are open. Feel free.
All right, man.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to our podcast. A huge thanks to Tony for joining us today for his second time on the Dog Chug and sharing his insights. Ross and Roger for being fantastic hosts, and our amazing fans for their support. We couldn't have done this without all of you. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes in the future.